That's probably the worst thing about Garrett.
All right, and we're back and we're back for part 3 of our series. Part 3 is all about long distance relationship. We got me, Jenny,
And J9.
we're talking all about our long distance relationship experience, our tips, and yeah. Oh my god,
We're fucking cat. Okay.
and let's hit it.
Okay.
Now, more relationship questions. How did you do long distance all those years? For a long time. How did you do long distance?
I don't know.
How does anybody does long distance?
I don't know. I don't know. I actually went through 2 long distance relationships. So the first one, he was my good friend at the time in high school, and we actually got together after we graduated from high school, and we went our separate ways. Yeah, we went to different colleges. You know, we were in love and it was fun. Like he got to visit me often in Texas, so the relationship was fine, and we were both busy doing our own thing. So that first year was fine. But then when I had to transfer to Nevada, and then we had to deal with the time difference, that's when things kind of like fell apart. And at that time when I transferred to Nevada, like I didn't really have a lot of friends at the time, you know, because I was the new girl. So I was by myself most of the time, really. And yeah, I mean, I didn't mind, but I mean, it made me upset whenever he wanted to go hang out with like his fraternity brothers. And he didn't want to talk to me. Yeah, I mean that relationship obviously didn't work out, but
relationships are
I wasn't
definitely
ready.
trials and errors. But
yeah. I wasn't, like, my young self was not ready for long distance at the time. That's why we didn't work out. My second one is with my fiance now. Well, not right now, but we were long distance. We were long distance while I was in pharmacy school. So we got together.
How long was that?
Yeah, so we got together senior year of college, and then we graduated. I went to pharmacy school in Vegas. He stayed up in Reno, and then we did long distance for 3 years. Yeah.
I didn't even realize you guys did long distance for that long.
Yeah.
Because I think I remember y'all barely saw each other during those years.
Yeah, because you know, I was busy with pharmacy school and studying and stuff, and luckily, like when I lived in Vegas, he was able to visit me every month, really. But I was still really busy, so it's not like we could go anywhere. But in my last year of pharmacy school, I moved to Ohio for my clinical rotations. So and Garrett still stayed in Reno, so that's where we felt the time difference. But the only thing that was different between Garrett and I's relationship and then my other long distance relationship was that I was more mature. I was busy doing my own thing. So like it didn't really faze me as much at the time, you know? So, and Garrett was still able to visit me in Ohio too. Not as often because of, you know, flights were expensive, but we made it through. I think it's just making sure we're both on the same page about what we're doing, and then I think the hardest part too was making sure you and your partner have the same like future goals, or like you guys are willing to compromise for each other, because I know a lot of times like couples, they'll reach a point in their career where they have to make a decision whether or not to move, you know, with their partner, or should they pursue something else. And like, is your partner like willing to move with you or whatnot? But luckily Garrett, like I knew I wanted to go back to the West Coast and I wanted to go back to Reno, so we didn't have as much of an issue. Yeah, but I know that's a hard decision for a lot of people too.
Yeah. Because I think I'm like the queen of long distance relationships, because all my relationships have been long distance.
Yeah.
Every single one. Like
Yeah.
even with my family, long distance, all the relationship it has like as little as like 2 hours drive to like a 16-hour flight. It's crazy. But I think like it comes down to what you're saying though. I think one tip that I always like is to always plan the next time you are gonna see the person. That's the most important. It's like before your current meeting ends, you have to plan the next time. It can't be just like no end. And then you have to have the close the gap plan, or else it just be like, where do we go from here? Because if you're like trying to converge into like the same line, like if you don't have a plan to close the gap, you just like start going like this way, and you wouldn't even realize it. You just slowly be like, and then next thing you know, you're just going in your separate direction, and then you're just like, well, it just doesn't work that way. And at that point then if the other person like changes their plan for you and go this way, then like now that becomes unhealthy, because then this person is like, oh, okay, you're doing this for me, and then when argument comes up, eventually this person is gonna be like, well, I did this thing for you, I did this for you, I moved here for you, and it just won't be a good time. The two people just have to be on the same page.
I agree. And then like everyone questions or like asks me about like, oh, did you trust Garrett or whatever, but like it but like honestly, like trust was never an issue with me. It goes back to like your sense of security, I guess. Like
sure.
You know, I didn't have any like worries about, oh, is he gonna cheat on me while I'm not with him, like blah, blah. Like I just don't like, in any relationship, I just don't like worrying about that. Like why? That means I shouldn't be with them if I worry about that, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, like people always ask me like, did you trust him? And I'm like, yeah, of course I did.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of my problem is out of sight, out of mind. That like, especially if you're someone that has a lot going on, sometimes in a long distance relationship, which I personally feel like I have failed many times at that, is to really put in efforts to maintain your relationship with the person. Because when in a long distance, when you don't see them for a while, it's so easy to just not see them as a part of your life. Like, or just feel like they won't fit in. And I think that is, the part of the essence of a long distance relationship too. But still, I think if you have to have like a very strong determination to have this person in your life no matter what, in order to keep the long distance relationship going.
Yeah, to your point too, I think that means closing the gap is very important for you, like trying to figure out how you guys can be together again. If it's like, because I understand if it's like you're just in a long distance relationship for many, many years, like it's going to be very easy to just drift apart in your separate ways.
How often do you think two persons should see each other?
I think every month is a good start.
It also depends. I think everyone has their different ways of maintaining their long distance relationship. It is really far, obviously. 1 month is not ideal,
right?
But you just have to work it out with your person. Like how long do we have to see each other in order to make it easy for us to keep this going? Yeah, like how much space?
When I lived in Ohio and Garrett was in Reno, like he couldn't visit me every month. That'd be so impossible. That'd be a lot of money. So I think probably he visited me like every 2.5 to 3 months during that time. So yeah. But also at the same time, like I knew at the end of pharmacy school, I wanted to be, like when I graduated, I wanted to be with him. So that's what we were looking forward to in the end.
So another thing to worry about is also, what is that person like in your, like as your day-to-day? So I think it's important to to understand that you're blinded to that, because when you're in a long distance relationship, every time you see the person, you're spending 24/7 with them.
Right.
That's just the nature of it, I think. So that makes it like a little weird, because you should, like normal dating, you slowly get to know that person. You don't see their night routine, you don't see their morning routine. But in the long distance, you see that you're exposed to that so early on, and like you get to see their day to day when you're staying with them. But at the same time, when they're with you, it is also like a vacation for them, or for both people. Sometimes you're not seeing them like after work when you're just trying to have dinner. You're seeing them like because you're off this weekend, you're gonna go see them. So it's like a totally complete different mindsets that you just have to take into account for.
That's actually a good segue to our next question.
Yeah. All right. So this is more for Janine. So challenges you face when you move in with your significant other finally, and what did you do to compromise, or did you have any compromises?
Like when we were planning to move in together, you know, I got a job in Reno, so we were able to close our gap of long distance finally. But I was honestly a little scared to see what our day-to-day life would be like, because like you said, like, you know, we're so used to just seeing each other as if it was vacation, and you know, before that, you know, we were just seeing each other in college, but we didn't really live together, type of thing. So I was a little afraid of what was going to happen. Like, is he gonna get sick of me? Am I gonna get sick of him? Blah blah blah. Like, how are we gonna like be roommates? How are we gonna do that?
Yeah.
But I told Garrett about my feelings about it, and he was like, why are you so nervous? Like, it's gonna be fun.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And
that's cute.
I think that helped me calm down about like being anxious about living in with him. You know, of course there's gonna be little things, like little habits that we get annoyed about, but again, communication is key. You know, they're not gonna know if you get annoyed if you don't ever tell them. So Garrett doesn't really have a habit that bothers. I lied. There is nothing that bothers me. How do you deal with your fiance yelling while he's playing video games?
Yeah, that's hella funny.
That's probably the worst thing about Garrett.
How do you deal with that?
Oh my god, it's so hard. Sometimes if it gets really crazy, I'll like tap on his shoulder and be like, shut up.
And thank you for watching, and this was our part 3 of our long distance relationships. Stay tuned for the last part of our series. How do you know if they're the